So February 10th, 2026, I got a phone call that literally has changed the trajectory of our life. It has changed our plans, or the plans that we thought we were making. And we found ourselves giving a yes to God that we didn't know He was requiring of us. So this video today, friends, is going to be unlike any video that I've done recently. I'm just talking with you from my heart. I'm sharing with you what the past 6 months has looked like for my family and I, and letting you know why it's so important for me to serve the people that I serve. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sonali Hutson, and I help self-employed Christians upgrade their home and lifestyle by buying and selling their home at the same time. So basically, if you're looking to buy a home and sell a home, then guys, I'm your girl, because I'm going to help you do it without all of the stress, the chaos, the confusion, and the homelessness that so many of you guys want to avoid. And today, what I'm talking about on this channel is my journey, my very, very unexpected journey from Hampton Roads, Virginia to now Henrico County, Virginia. But guys, in order for me to tell this story efficiently, I need to back all the way up to 1999. So picture this. In 1999, my life was a mess. It was complete, pure chaos. I just had a baby in January, and I got on the bus going to visit with my mother and my sister to kind of get a reset on my life. And I was coming from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I got on the wrong bus. Yes. Now, again, this is 1999. So this is pre-COVID. This is pre-9/11, all of those things, right? So at the time, I had a paper ticket in my hands. I had a newborn that I was nursing, and all I was doing was riding 6 to 8 hours from Charlotte, North Carolina to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, somehow during the transition, I either missed the bus or got on the wrong bus. And the bus that I got on, it led me to Richmond, Virginia. Now, at this time in my life, like I said, my life was just pure chaos. It was a mess. I was brokenhearted. I was just going through a lot. And I was always a writer, always someone who took notes. And I was sitting at the bus stop crying. And I looked on the back of this notebook that I had. And a friend of mine that I went to high school with, her phone number and her contact information was written on the back of this notepad. And guess where this friend lived, guys? She lived in Richmond, Virginia. So I picked up the phone, I called her, and I said, listen, I got on the wrong bus. I have the baby with me. I need you to come get me, and I'll probably need to stay with you tonight. And my friend tells me, Nolly, I'm running late for church, but I'm gonna come pick you up, but you're gonna have to come to church with me. And I'm like, girl, I am not trying to go to nobody's church. So I'm like, look, I don't care. I just don't want to be here on this street corner, on this bus stop with people that looked a little sketchy. So yes, please come get me. So within like 20-30 minutes, my friend came to get me, and she took me to church. Long story short, the Lord planted me in that church for a season. And next thing you know, I'm relocating to Richmond. So in 1999, I got on the wrong bus thinking I was heading to Philadelphia, and God, basically, I had an encounter with Him that changed my life and changed what I was expecting my life to be like. And I lived in Richmond, where I met my husband, where my life began to change, where I went to college at 30, where I got a degree and did all of these things. But in 2009, after being in Richmond for over 10 years, I got a promotion. It ended up relocating to Hampton Roads, Virginia. I didn't become a realtor until 2016. So for the past 10 years, I've faithfully served the Hampton Roads market. So I really am talking to a specific person in this video. You are more than likely about to pack up your life. You're about to possibly walk away from a job, walk away from a friend group, walk away from a ministry, walk away from everything that you've known for however long, and you're about to start a journey in a new place. A lot of the clients that I work with, they are relocators. And what that means is they're relocating from one city to a next. And sometimes they relocate from one country to the next, or one coast to the next. I don't know what your situation is, but I wanted to make this video today to encourage you that whatever you're walking through right now, whatever this next season that God has for you is, that you have to trust God. Because no, it's not easy to pack up your life and relocate for your job, relocate for your family, relocate for your ministry. It's not easy to do, but if God has already told you and you have peace, then you must obey what God's told you to do. And so for those of you who are watching this, you're like, Sonali, I didn't come here for ministry. I didn't come here for anything but real estate. Well, stay with me, okay? Because when you're going through a real estate transaction, there's a level of trust that you have to employ. There's a level of trusting God, trusting process, trusting your team, trusting yourself to make the right decisions. And this past few months for me, literally packing up my house on a whim, okay? Managing, moving from one city that I've known and one market that I've known for the past 15 years, coming back to a place that I said I would never return to. And serving God in a capacity that's required me to give less of myself to my business and more of myself to my ministry. When you're going through a real estate transaction, especially if you're buying and selling simultaneously, you can have the best team in the world. You can have the best realtor. Trust me, I personally believe I am the best realtor you can find, especially if you're a spirit-filled Christian. However, there are certain things that can happen inside those transactions that make you say, God, I trust you, that make you pray, that push you toward God's throne of grace more than you've ever had to be pushed toward his throne of grace. If you've been a faithful watcher of my channel, you would notice that all I did was talk about Suffolk, Chesterfield, Virginia Beach, and Hampton Roads, and how much I loved Hampton Roads. And I believe that the 757 or Hampton Roads taught me the work. It taught me the business. It gave me the confidence and the boldness that I have. But I believe Richmond is where he wants me to do the work. Now, I know that some things that you guys will probably deal with is what it feels like to actually start over in a new market. Well, let me be honest with you. It's actually scary to start over in a new market. You don't know people. You know, you might find the perfect house. You might have researched the neighborhood. You might have even driven by and stalked it. And if you watch my videos, I tell you to stalk the neighborhood before you move there, right? But it's something about moving in and those first couple of nights that's different. You know, the first time you take your dog on a walk, the first time you speak to your neighbors, or the first time a neighbor is rude to you, you start questioning, God, is this you? Is this you? But guys, I'm just telling you to stay the course. When you go to a new market, you're leaving things behind. What are you leaving behind? For me, it's like my name, my reputation, my brand. Everything that I built in Hampton Roads, I literally walked away from it because I gave God my yes. And if you're watching this video, you're probably going to deal with some of the same things where you're going to be walking away from everything that's familiar and walking into unfamiliar territory. And that's going to be scary. That's going to feel weird. But at the end of the day, God is with you always. Now, some people are going to ask me about opportunity, right? So opportunity is opportunity, and it's what you make of it. Now, one thing that I do love, I am very faith forward. So I'm always talking about Christ. My channel is built around Christ. My business is built around Christ. And what I have found so far is I'm the only Black Christian realtor who is prominently talking about the Henrico County market. So I believe that God has given me just a big space that I can own. But the opportunities for you when you're moving, I don't want you to be so caught up in your move that you miss the opportunities that God has placed for you. Because an opportunity can be there, but if you're not prepared and you're not in the right posture, then that opportunity can pass you by. And we don't want those opportunities to pass us by, right? And I think one of the most important questions that people are going to ask me is, Sonali, why are you choosing to work with Christians? Why are you choosing to work with self-employed people? Why are you choosing to work with people who are buying and selling at the same time? Well, guys, that doesn't mean I don't work with people who don't fit that criteria. It just means that that's what I specialize in. And to be completely transparent, I specialize in Christians who are self-employed, who are buying and selling, because I've lived that reality more times than I can count. I know what it feels like to have nowhere to go. I know what it feels like to be homeless. I know what it feels like, the fear that many of my sellers and my buyers come to me with. Hey, if I sell my house first before my house that I buy closes, what are we gonna do? You know, I don't wanna be homeless. I don't wanna have to go live in an Airbnb. I don't wanna have to take my dog and my children to a hotel. I know what that feels like. And I believe wholeheartedly that God has anointed me with the negotiation skills, with the tactic, with the will, with the know-how to help people navigate those changes simultaneously so that they don't have to end up in those situations. And if they do end up in those situations, that we've already planned and prepared for it. So that's why it's so important for me to serve the people that I serve. So in this season that you may be packing up your life and moving and doing everything that I just went through, I want you to understand that there's somebody out there that knows exactly what that feels like. That there's somebody out there that knows what it's like to trust God when you can't see the next step. That knows what it's like to be able to give up and walk away from everything that you're building for God to walk you into what He is building for you. And friends, that is the key. See, sometimes we think that what we put our hands to and what we toil for and what we work for is what God has for us. But sometimes God wants to give us something. He wants to hand us something that we didn't work for, that we didn't have to water or or plant. And in this season, I believe that for me, he wanted to show me that he is real and that he is God, and that what he's doing for me and what he's done for me in these past few months and will continue to do for me in all of 2026 and beyond is not about the hard work that I put in. It's not about the anointing. It's not about anything but his grace. His grace is undeserved. We don't work for his grace. And I just believe that he wanted me to sit here today and explain to you guys a little bit about what's going on in my life, the transition that I've made to Henrico County, Virginia, to assure you, if you are listening and you've been following me, if you're moving to Suffolk or Chesterfield, I still got your back. And friends, I don't know what these next few months are going to look like in a market I have not been in 15 years. I'm having to connect with people all over again, and I got to build a new business in the 804 when I've been in the 757. But in the midst of that little bit of fear, that little bit of nervousness, I trust God. So a lot of you that's been following me for a while, you've been following me for my Hampton Roads content. So what does that mean for you? Well, friends, I'm glad you asked. I love Hampton Roads, Virginia, and I'll always love Hampton Roads, Virginia. I've put out years worth of content on Hampton Roads, and it's going to still live here and be housed on my channel. You notice that my focus is going to shift to Henrico County and the Richmond areas, but I still know Suffolk like the back of my hand. I still know Virginia Beach and Chesapeake like the back of my hand, and we're still going to be selling real estate in Hampton Roads. So what does it mean for you? It means continue to stay plugged in, friends. You don't have to leave the channel. I may not be putting out as much specific content on Hampton Roads, but all of the tips that I'm going to share with you about buying and selling, my homeownership God's way blueprint, the market, all of that can apply to anyone who is in this Virginia market or anyone who's looking to relocate in the Virginia market. As you're transitioning right now and trying to decide, can I do this? Should I do this? Is God in it? Guys, yeah. If you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, if you're feeling a little bit out of control, but you still have peace and you've sought the Lord and you hear him and he's telling you that you need to pack up and you need to go to the different place. I don't care if you're in Virginia, he's telling you to go to Arizona. Whatever God says, your obedience is better than your sacrifice. And yes, you're going to make sacrifices, but he wants to see, will you obey him and will you trust him? And I don't know about you, friends, but there's something about the obedience of God, something about just being in his presence and knowing that he's pleased with you, knowing that he'll say, well done, my good and faithful servant. So friends, listen, I know that I went a little bit longer than I wanted to go today on this video, but I truly believe that the Lord wanted me to just come in front of you, share my heart, share my spirit, and let you know that he is God, that he is in control, and if he's calling you to a new season, to a new location, just give him your yes. Guys, thank you so much for watching my channel. Your support absolutely means the world to me. Every day, people just like you reach out to me about relocating to Virginia, about buying and selling their home at the same time without becoming homeless. And I would love, love, love the opportunity to support you. God bless you.